going to need to go to the other side of the map and get the Sentinel artifact. It's pretty much a standard that you need to do in every single game of Voyage of Despair, and you're also going to need to have built the shield. Now, if you don't know how to build the shield, I'll have a link down below in the description so you can go ahead and watch on how to build the shield. Once you've built the shield, you want to make your way back into the original spawn room and head down through the stairs to the mail rooms. Now, in this section of the mail rooms, you're going to find this safe, and what you want to do is get your shield out and melee the safe, and it's going to drop this little code cracker device, which you can now pick up. Now, this is going to come in very handy for the next steps, but before we can start anything else afterwards, around the map, we are going to be looking for 4 different bone parts from a skeleton. The first one here is straight from the safe that we just opened in the mail rooms, and it's this shelf here to the right of this zombie's window barrier. You're going to notice a bone just lying on the bottom of this shelf. Don't pick this up, but you want to be also taking note that down underneath it is going to be a scrap of paper with a number on it. Now, this is going to be a common theme for all 4 of the bone parts that we're going to be finding around the map. To make life easier, and what I did is that I noted down exactly where this bone location was. So I wrote mail rooms, shelf bone, and then on the floor next to it is our code. So I'm going to go ahead and write down on my piece of paper as well what the code was. Now, my game, the code for that was 2340. So just write that down. We're going to need it a little bit later. The second bone we're going to be looking for is going to be just above here, and it's on this table, and you can see it's a skull's head. Now, don't pick up the skull just yet, but as you can see here on these bottles, it's going to be another scrap of paper with a code on it. Now, this one's pretty difficult to see with a normal gun. If you want a clear shot of it, you can use a sniper rifle, but it's not necessarily important at this rate that we need this specific code, because if we find the other ones, then this, of course, will narrow it out to the last one. So if you can make it out, then definitely write it down. For me, in our game, this one was 4250. Now, there's yet again another bone location inside of the mail room, which is going to be on a separate desk right here opposite the staircase. And as you can see, there is a hand on the table, but underneath the table, just slightly to the left of this table leg, if you look here closely, you'll see a note as well. This one was 1404, so I wrote that down as mail room hand 1404. And the last bone part we need is going to be in the cargo hold, so it's just in the middle of the room here inside this crate, and just to the right you're going to see another piece of paper. In my game it was 1912. Now, these might not always be the same, they will be different in your game, so don't take what you see here as what they are, but just make sure you're checking it in your games. But once you've gotten them all written down, we can begin with the first step here. Now, we have all the codes. We are now going to be finding 4 different safes around the map. Now, there is no order in which you have to go to each of these safes, but we're going to start with this first one, and this one is going to be in the bridge, which is the lower part door that you open from spawn to get into the actual boat area. It's one of the first doors you'll open, but in one of these rooms you're going to find a safe. What you want to do is hold square or X, depending on what console you're playing on that safe, and it's going to put our little code cracker on the safe. But what it's going to do now is it's going to show you a set of 4 numbers. Now, this is going to match one of the bone parts which we found around the map. So in my game, my first code was 2340, which corresponded with the bone that was on the bottom shelf in the mail rooms, the very first bone I showed you. So what you need to do now, depending on what number it showed for that safe, is find the corresponding bone part. So for me, it was the mail room shelf. So I go back into the mail rooms, I pick that bone up, then I return to this shelf and press square, and you're going to see the bone part will slowly sink into the safe before closing again. And what's going to happen now is that safe will be completed, and you're going to need to melee the safe with your shield out to drop the code cracker, and we can move on to the next safe. And the next safe that we go to here is in the first class lounge section. So you want to open that, walk through, and then turn the corner here, and you're going to notice the safe just chilling in this corner. So we put the code cracker on it, and we get given a code sequence which is different this time, which is going to correspond to another bone, which is 4250. Now, from the different bone codes that we got, the one which was the hardest to distinguish because we didn't have a sniper rifle was the denominator here. We knew all the other codes, and we knew which parts they collected to, so it's obvious that the skull correlated to this particular code because we saw all the other codes really, really well. So we take the skull, we place it inside the safe, and because it correctly matches up with that code, it goes into the safe will shut, and then we can go ahead and melee the code cracker and then pick that back up and go to another safe location. And the next location is going to be in the Millionaire Suites, which is on the C deck. So as soon as you come in there, place the code cracker on the safe and it's going to open, and it revealed a code which was 1912. Now for us, 1912 correlated to the bone hand part which we found in the cargo hold. So I go back to the cargo hold, I pick that bad boy up, then I take it back to the safe in the Millionaire Suites. Obviously it's correct, the safe shuts, and then I can melee to pick up the code cracker, and now we've got one more safe to go. And this last safe is in the third class berths, and the easiest way to get to the third class berths is just head underneath where you picked up the artifact and follow the stairs down one flight, and then just run across the hallway and you'll come across this safe. And for us the number was 1404. Now I advise when you're on the last and final safe, you're gonna know which one to go to. Just make sure you pick up the last bone part, because this one is a big trek across the boat. It's essentially across the entire map for you to go ahead, find the safe, open it, then pick up the part and then run all the way back. So if you've got an elixir like anywhere but here, that will probably get you a little bit closer than you having to just run back and forth. But we head back to the safe in the third class berths, we put that bone part in, the safe closes, and if done correctly, you shouldn't be able to get rid of the code cracker anymore. It should be stuck on that safe. And now we can move on to the last and final step. So for the last and final step, head to the cargo hold, and next to this fast travel, you're going to notice a car here with a skeleton's body in, and if you hold square or X, you'll see that the car will slowly fade away into the